Okay.
5th of November, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Bye, Mayor.
Okay. Okay. Everybody, where you got to go is on 115A1 on the right column. And you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines up. And the word above says the Tan, for we learned in a Mishnah. That's where we're starting.
Statement, New Jersey. Did you ever go? No. You haven't been? No, but I'm thinking. Or Canada or America? I don't know.
Okay, good.
You've had it with Israel? I'm thinking of my trip.
Yes, start, Phil. Please.
The Tanan. We learned in the Mishnah. I'm trying to find the Gemara there. Omalo mocha limea shalpara. Sell me the insides of a cow. Vayahu behem matanos. And inside that amount was included the gifts that you have, the Kohanic gifts that you have to give the Kohen. Lieutenant LeKohen, you do give them to the Kohen. Mineche lo minadamim. And you do a deduction from the value, because you don't charge them for that, because that's part of the Kohen gifts. So the butcher charges them less money for those insides, because there are gifts that have to be given to the Kohen, pieces of them.
One second. Doesn't it say ve'eno menake lo?
Wait a second. You're right. I did wear the Aino. I left out the word Aino. You're 100% right. He gives the things to the Kohen the Aino menake. You don't deduct the amounts from the price.
Whatever price that the tabak charged, that's the price. That's in the first case, and we're not going to go into the reasons why. I just want to see if we could just see what the first case says and what the second case says.
Excuse me a second. Was it 115A2?
115A. We're still on 115A1.
A1, okay.
Where I told you before, you weren't counting up the lines. We started up 1, 2, 3 on the right side. We started up like 5 lines from the bottom.
We're learning the Mishnah?
Yeah.
Okay. I have it.
Okay, so that was the first case of the Mishnah, and now we're going to learn the second case of the Mishnah. The second case of the Mishnah starts with lokach hemenu b'mishkal.
That's the bottom line of that.
If one said to a butcher, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sell me the innards of a cow.
We did that
you
part
can read
already.
from there. Read from there and keep going.
All right, for you, bohen, matanos, and the Kohanic gifts were among them. Nos non, the Kohen, no, manakor, lo, min, hadrin. And the buyer gives them gives them to a Kohen, and he does not deduct the value of the Kohenic gifts from the purchase price. Lekach, if however he bought the cow's innards from the butcher by weight, pain low min hanarim, and the buyer gives the Kohen gifts to a Kohen, and he deducts their value from the purchase price. The Rav said an explanation of the last ruling, which implies that the buyer can collect compensation only from the butcher and not from the Kohen. Lo shana elo they taught that the buyer has no right to compensation from the Kohen only when he weighed the innards for himself. But if the butcher weighed the innards for him, the claim of the Kohen is against the butcher. That is, he can sue only the butcher. If he wants to collect the gifts from the buyer, he must pay for them.
Okay. Fine. Let's see the Rashis now. Louis, you want to read Rashi?
Okay.
We are I think the first Rashi is Matanos. That, see where Matanos is? It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, like between 4 and 5 lines down from the Gemora, and you go across to where Rashi is, you see the word Matanos.
All right, let me find where the Gemora is.
4 or 5 lines down from the top of the page of 115a.
I see no saying halokeach.
Right. So before that is Matanos on the same line.
I say oh, here it is, Matanos, got it. Teva. So Matanos, gifts, is referring to the maw, the part that has to be given to the Kohen.
Yeah, I think in simple English it's called the stomach, but
I don't think so. I think it's the side of the face. That's what I always give to the Kohen when I have a lamb. I give the shoulder and half of the head. I don't know why it doesn't say anything about the shoulder though.
But
Mayor inside usually refers to the intestines, the stomach area. That's what the mayor usually refers to, but not the cava is a specific term or part of it.
Yeah, we should.
The English says maw.
More.
Let's take a look in the Gemara in Chulin. We'll find out. Lamed base. Maybe I have a picture over there. Take a look at your Gemara in Chulin, Kuf Lamed base, 132.
Chulin 132.
Yes. I'd have more commentary over there than over here in any case. on this Mishnah. On the base.
Which Ahmed?
Kuf Lamed base. Ahmed Aleph. Yeah, it's the Mishnah is at the bottom of the Amud. What we need really is we need a picture over here of the cow.
You're
I don't see
133.85.
No, I don't see it here. Not going to help us at all. No. I thought there maybe would be a picture over here. Okay, so that's Bracha Levatala, isn't it? Okay, we tried.
My English says a word I don't know. It's ABOMASUM. I'm going to look it up.
It's some sort of part of the stomach. It's because a cow has 4 stomachs, so it could be one of the 4 parts of the stomach. One of the 4 of them.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't seem like such an appetizing part of the animal to give to a Kohen, but
Okay, the abomasum, also known as the maw, rennet bag, or reed tripe, is the 4th and final stomach compartment in ruminants. It secretes rennet, which is used in cheese creation. So we're both right. It's called the maw, and it's called the stomach. That's weird.
No, because there are 4 stomachs, so each stomach must have a separate name. That's part of it.
Right, but maw is not stomach. Anyway, you're right. It's the stomach.
okay. So good. Okay, so that's the first Rashi. Now we go to the next Rashi. Oh, now we'll go back to Bava Kama. But I don't know about you, but I'm keeping my Gemora and Chulin open just in case. Okay, so now we got Dibra Maskil. No saying halokeach.
No saying halokeach. Let's see. Okay, no sin halokeach. He gives to the purchaser. Ki keva lekohen de mas tama mis nos lo zavin lay. So the stomach to the Kohen that it's reasonable as a gift. It's not, he doesn't purchase it.
Okay, no saying halokeach. Rashi has a run on Rashi over here. Even though our Gemora says no snon, which means he gives them, but Rashi has no saying because he's just mentioning the keva. It just seems like one item, the keva, no saying halokeach. Lokeach is the one who's the no saying. Right? It doesn't work the same way it does in English. In English, you say the man gives, the buyer gives, but in Hebrew, it works the other way around. Gives the buyer. So no sin lokeach. The buyer who bought it from the butcher, he bought the innards from the butcher, he gives to, what does he give? Rashi says he gives a keva to the Kohen. And with that, he fulfills the mitzvah of giving the matnas kahuna to the Kohen. And then there's a note that I have over here that says that after this, you have to insert a whole phrase over here. The eno menaka lo mina damim. And the butcher in this case does not deduct from the price that the buyer paid. And now Rashi explains why that is. The mistama, because it's reasonable for us to assume that what? Matanas lo zavenle. That the part of the meat that was going to be given to the Kohen as a gift was not part of the sale that the butcher sold to the buyer. Okay, now the Mishnah mentioned the next case. The next case, Rashi doesn't comment on it. He doesn't say anything. So let's just remind ourselves. The next case is lokach hemenu b'mishkal. If the buyer purchased the meat from the butcher according to the weight.
Yeah, well, we have two Rashis to get up to that. The Rashi before that is part of it. The Lo Shono, it only taught in this case, and that's the Mishkal case.
No, that's Rav. That's Amar Rav.
Right.
I'm saying the case. I'm saying the second case that Rav is talking about.
Right. In the second case, you're talking about the second. It says Lo Shono. It taught it only in that case of the Mishkal. So there's a Rashi on Lo Shono. It only taught it on this case.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just let me just say what that case is before you get to that Rashi, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The first case is that that there's no deduction on the price, no deduction on the price. The second case is is that when the sale is made according to the weight of the meat, so then it says that menakalo minadamim. Then in that case, there is a deduction from the price, and that deduction is there is a deduction. So we have two cases. We have a case where there's no deduction. We have a case where there is a deduction. The first case, which has no deduction, is when the sale was for the innards. Didn't say how much they weigh. Nobody weighed anything. He said, "Sell me the innards." So he said, "I'll sell you the innards for 100." And included in that was the keva, and the buyer gives the keva to the Kohen. Mitzvah of giving it to the Kohen, doesn't charge him for it, of course. And but the price of 100 is not deducted. But in the second case, the meat was sold according to the weight. So even if it was exactly the same cut of meat that was given, but the wording of the transaction was, I want 2 kilos of I want to buy 2 kilos. So even if he gives in that same exact amount, the innards together with the keva, in that case, since it was sold according to the weight, so now there's going to be a deduction coming to the buyer in this case. And nakalo minadamim. Actually, it doesn't say who the deduction is to, but it's clear that it's only referring to the buyer because he's the only one that paid anything for it. Okay, now comes Rav, and Rav wants to say that Rav is talking about the case where there was a deduction. Is he's talking about a case where there was a weighing of the meat, and that's the second case. Okay, so let's read the Rashi now. Lo shanu.
Lo shanu was only taught in this case, and that is that the lokach himeno b'mishkal, that the purchaser took it from him by weighing it. Notein lekohen, you give it to the Kohen. The mashma, the understanding, the halokeah, that it's the lokeach. Okay. Al korcha, you're forced to say, notein lekohen, v'yuhu yitavei damim min hamocher. That he does give it to the Kohen, but that he has to claim a credit back of the value from the seller, from the seller, the guy he bought it from.
Lo shanu, says Rav.
So Rav is saying it's only in that case we're talking about. He's limiting the case of Rav about the case is only in the case when he weighted him, when it was sold by weight. And then it says, Ella Shishakal, the next one continued with it, that it was weighed by himself. He's weighing it, not the butcher weighing it. The purchaser is weighing
it. Okay, so before we get to the Rashi, let's try to read the words of the Gemora again. So maybe we'll be able to understand what the Rashi says based upon that. Rab says, Lo shanu ela sheshaka la'atzmo. We only learned that the din is what it says in the Mishnah. When we're talking about when he did the weighing for himself. The buyer did the weighing for himself. That's when we say what we said in the Mishnah. Aval, but I'm reading from the words of Rav in the Gemora. Shakal lo hatabach. If it was the situation that the the butcher did the weighing, then hadin ima hatabach. Then the claim would be with the tabach. Okay, so what's confusing me over here is I don't see anywhere in the Mishnah that the Mishnah says anything about a claim against anybody. But Rav is talking about the fact that there's a claim, and he's saying we only find that the din in the Mishnah is what it is when the buyer does the weighing. But if what's the din in the Mishnah? The Mishnah just says that the seller will have to deduct to the buyer from the amount that he is required to give to the Kohen. The buyer will have to deduct that amount. But in the case where the tabak did the weighing of the he did the weighing of the meat, so then the din is with the tabach. The claim of the Kohen is going to be with the tabach. Claim of the Kohen is going to be with the tabach. Very, very confusing. Okay, so let's try again. Let's try again. It's got to work it out. Okay, fine. Lo shanu. What time do we have over here? I don't want to struggle with this. Come on. Lo shanu. So Rashi said Lo shanu lokach menu b'mishkal nosnan lekohen demashma de lokeach al korchoch nosnan lekohen. Rashi's making a point of saying that the language in the Mishnah that it says nosnan lekohen, he shall give it to the Kohen. It's given to the Kohen. It sounds like, says Rashi, it's mashma that the lokeach doesn't want to. Akorchach, against his will, he's giving it to the Kohen. V'hu yitba damim min hamocher. And then he, the buyer, will be demanding money from the seller that sold him the meat, the butcher. That's only when he, the buyer, did the selling, did the weighing himself. Okay, I'm going to give it over to Lou. You want to read this Rashi? Hadin ima tabach.
Okay, let's see if I can find it. I see Ella Shishakol.
Right after that.
Next line.
Adin im hatavach.
Yeah.
Let's see, where is that in the Adin?
This is the second wide line of the Gemora. These are the last 3 words of Rab's statement.
Okay, so Amar Rav Lo Shanu Ella. Here, Hadin im hatavach.
Yeah.
The claim is against the butcher. Okay, so Dino Shel Kohen, the claim of the Kohen, the Oro al Hatabach, who Rav Litame de Amar Hadin im ha Rishon. The Tabach Keneged Rishon Uvelokeach Have Shnei Vikam Ukamar Adin im Hatavach Alma Rav Leis Le Derav Chista.
Wow.
So the
Break your head on this one.
the claim is
In pieces.
the Kohen is making the claim. I don't know what Va'aroru is.
His complaint.
And his complaint is against the butcher. He is the majority of his
Rav is not referring to the majority, it's referring to Rav the Amora, who's speaking. It's his statement that we're analyzing now.
oh, so Rav's reason that he says the claim is with the first one.
Okay.
I guess that's the purchaser.
Rav the time Edo Amar Hadin Imarishon. No, that's the Rashi's going to say right now who the Rishon is.
The Tavach Keneged, I'm sorry, Kiganov. It's the thief. Rishon. The thief is the Rishon. V'lokeach have shnei.
Hey.
Lokeach has two.
Cheney. Lokeach is
Oh, the Lokeach, the purchaser is second. Ukamar Hadin, and we say the claim im Hatavach is with the butcher. Really, Rav
so we see
is not like Rav Chisda.
yeah. Okay. So Rashi is racing and racing and racing way, way, way ahead of us in these few words. But, yeah.
Right.
Before we try to figure out who the Tabach is, he's the Rishon, and the Lopef is the Sheni, and Rav Chisda. Before we do all of that, there's one thing we got to do. We have to figure out what that Rav says. This we only said this din where it's what it says in the Mishnah when the buyer does the weighing. But if the seller does the weighing, so then the din is with the tabach. So we got to know what is that referring to? The din is with the tabach. Rashi doesn't really explain. So I think what it means, the din is with the tabach, means that the din, he identifies the din is the din of the Kohen. The Kohen has a din over here. He has a complaint. He didn't get his meat. Now, this is very confusing because we thought that he gave him the meat, but the Rashi is saying that the language is mashma that he did not give him the meat. This that it says in the Mishnah, nos non lekohen, is mashma that the lokeach is forced against his will to give the meat to the Kohen. Sounds like he didn't do it yet. So in the first case, when he is forced to give the meat to the Kohen, so then he says that the Kohen, then he says that the Lokeach is going to claim money from the mocher. That's the case. That's the case that the
What's the mocher?
In other words, in that case, the Kohen, if the Kohen can go to the Bezdin and say, "Hey, the Lokeach, he didn't give me my keva." So the Bezdin is going to force the Lokeach to give the Kohen his keva, and then Rashi says, "V'hu yitba damim min hamocher." He will have to go and claim the money. He'll have to claim the money from the mocher.
Who's the mocher?
That's the seller, the butcher that sold the meat.
Okay.
But in that case, in other words, what we would explain it as being is that the din is with the lokeach. That's the case where the din is with the lokeach. Even though the Mishnah didn't say that, but what Rashi is explaining is that's what it's referring to. The din is with the lokeach, meaning to say that the Kohen, because it's his din, he can say to the lokeach, "Give me my meat," and the lokeach is going to be forced to give it to him, the buyer, and then the buyer will have a case against the seller of the butcher to give him a reduction on the keva that he paid for. Okay, but in the event that the butcher does the weighing, that's what Rashi says, that if the butcher does the weighing, then the claim of the Kohen is he doesn't have a claim on the lokeach now. The lokeach didn't do nothing. The lokeach just said, "Give me 2 kilos of meat." That's all he said, and the whole thievery of the matnas kuna is put on the head of the butcher, because he's the one that sold it and he's the one that weighed it, and so therefore the Kohen only has recourse. He only has a din with the what's his name with the what's his name? The mocher, the seller, the butcher. That's what Rav is saying. That's what Rav is saying.
Against the butcher?
Adin imatabach. It's confusing because we're using different words for the tabach. He's called the butcher. He's called the seller. So it's confusing. We're not using the same words.
Yes.
But those are that's the way it works out. And then we have to Rashi's explaining that Rav, in saying this, is going according to the same principles that he used in talking about the Ganav and the Lokeach and the Balabayit. Then he ties it into Rav Chisda. So in that I said, Rashi, are way, way, way ahead of us. First, let's try to figure out the case over here in Chulin. And that's what we did just now. Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Be well.
All the best. Have a safe trip.
Thank you so much.
When do you leave, Lou?
I'm leaving today at 8 p.m.
Have a good trip. Where are you going? Again, I keep forgetting.
India.
Okay, enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I'll end joy.
But how many hours are they ahead of Israel?
5.
5 hours ahead of Israel. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great 2
All
weeks.
the best.
Okay. Bye-bye.